Welcome everybody to Fierce Friday. We are the Million Mom Movement. My name is Tammy Trissel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I have been with the Million Mom Movement just a very short time, but I've been following them for 3 years now. I'm so passionate about this, because I was really sick for a very long time with autoimmune and lots of other illnesses. At 18, I was diagnosed with Crohn's, and I just had one diagnosis after another and one medication after another. So I was eventually on like 20 different medications, and I was just so sick, and I was going from doctor to doctor, just searching for an answer, for hope. I wanted to feel better.
Are we all seeing Tammy frozen? Okay. Okay.
Yes, okay.
Well, I know Tammy has an incredible story, and she is our newest member on Fierce, our newest council member, and she has a great story. She's been following us for the past 3 years. So we will wait until she jumps back on. You know what? Maybe we can just go into the pledge. And I know she has one of her dear friends and sidelines who is Yarrow. So maybe Yarrow, you can unmute. Let's unmute Yarrow, and you can share your story. You can read the pledge.
Okay. Thanks, Taz. This is the Million Mom Movement Pledge and part of the mission and what the Million Mom Movement stands for. It's the movement of many. The pledge is, I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement.
Oh, I love that. You read that so beautifully. So, oh, Tammy is back. Okay. There you go. The floor is yours, girl.
Sorry, guys, my internet just totally dropped. Okay, so Yarrow is my dear friend, and we work together. I've been working with Yarrow real closely for the last couple years. She's a regenerative practitioner, and she's been helping me to regenerate my body on a cellular level. And, we are going to talk about doing group transformations, because when we do things together as a group, we have a lot more success. So I don't know if you guys have had much success with getting people together, to really start these transformations and, get that ball rolling and get that community aspect and have everybody really cheering each other on, because it makes it so much more fun. And really, you have so much better success when you do it together as a community. So we've been really working closely together, and Yara and I have, daily calls. So if any of the other council members have any other tips or tricks, how you guys get, oh, you didn't do the in the news. Oh, Taz has to do in the news. I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead, you guys. See, this is my first time hosting, so I'm so excited. I'm just skipping all over the place. Taz, do you want to do the in the news?
Absolutely. Yeah. While you were frozen, I just went straight to the pledge and had Yarrow read it. Okay. So let's go ahead.
Okay.
So you guys, if it's your first time here, this is my daughter, Kiara. So I'm part of this mission because for my kids, and she's home today, and she's homeschooling. So I wanted her to read the in the news piece.
Perfect. So you guys can see the article. Perfect. So this is it's an abomination, the battle brewing over proposed U.S. law to protect pesticides companies. So there are cancer patients that are celebrating a string of courtroom victories after juries in 3 U.S. states recently ordered that they want to be paid for damages because they failed to warn them about the health risks of Roundup herbicides. So if you guys don't know what Roundup is, it's a really harmful pesticide. It's glyphosate essentially, and it's sprayed on everything. Okay, it's sprayed on grass, it's sprayed on our foods. Even if you have organic foods, it's still sprayed on there. So you need to make sure you're taking your biomedic and, continuously upping your gut health. So let's continue reading the article. We have, so there was a new law. A new law is needed because pesticides are paramount to growing our food and keeping our community safe. And farmers and consumers need to not only be able to trust the regulations of the products they use, but trust the government has made decisions based on agreed upon and established science and facts and data. So there are so many children that are being jeopardized, every day they're going out on their playgrounds and then they come home with, they have like eczema on their face, so they're not feeling well because all their playgrounds, everything, wherever they are, is sprayed with glyphosate. And actually, we have a story. So not too long ago, we went to a vegan festival and, we were having fun. We made a picnic. We were sitting down eating all our food. And the next day, my mom woke up with hives on her face. Okay. Her skin was peeling. We're like, what just happened? What's going on? And then we found out that area where the festival was the largest land that was sprayed with a bunch of pesticides. So we need to with glyphosate, exactly. So we need to be very careful, and the best way to become more aware is just to keep on doing your research, keep on coming on these calls and taking your biomedic.
And we do that in the news piece, because whenever we hear about something that's happening in the world, and we're like, we need to bring it to our community, we need to educate, we need to empower each other of what's actually going on in the world. And you know what, even if you try to eat so healthy, as Kata was saying, even organic foods are still sprayed, right? So we just need to be careful of how we live. Even if you think you're eating healthy, sitting on the grass, this is another contaminant. So we are being exposed to glyphosate toxicity, pesticides in all aspects.
Exactly. And I wanted to read this quote. I really love this. It says that parents and our city leaders, not the pesticide industry, should have the power to protect our children from hazardous pesticides in the parks where they play. So we need to be very careful, take your biomedic, as I said, and yeah.
And spread the word and invite people to this call. Back to you, Tammy.
Thank you, ladies. Yeah, it's so important. You don't even realize how glyphosate is in everything. They don't talk about it. It's not something that's commonly, doctors sure aren't going to talk to you about it. And that was the one thing that I really realized when I was so sick for so long. They don't talk about eating organically. And we have the clean 15 and the dirty dozen list, but I try to buy everything organic as much as possible. But if you can't, berries and things like that are very important. You can't wash glyphosate off. You can't cook it out of your food. It's embedded into that food. Okay, what are we going to share next? Do you want me to talk about the group transformations now, Taz? Yay. Okay, now it's time for the group transformations. I get so excited. I got ahead of myself. Okay, so the group transformations, if you guys have not had success getting a group together to have these transformations, we have some fun tips and tricks. We like to start a group messenger thread. Yarrow and I, we have a specific time 3 times a week where we invite people in, because people need, when they're new to this community, they need that support. This is foreign to them. They've never done anything like this before. So being there for them, walking them through this, holding their hand, loving them up, because they're going to experience, maybe some detox symptoms, and they're really not sure what they're experiencing. And they might say, oh, this is making me sick. And in fact, it's actually pushing the toxins out of the body. So, we have to really be there for them to explain what they're experiencing and to guide them through the process and the next step. So if you guys have any tips or tricks yourself, Yarrow and I have been doing this and we're having really great success. And now we're starting retreats in her hometown in Truth or Consequence, New Mexico. So we're going to be having people down there so that we can actually walk them through it in person and just, really guide them through the process. Yarrow, do you want to share a little bit about that? And then we can have the other council members share some of their success stories with the group transformations.
Absolutely, I'd love to. And I would love for you to finish telling your story though, Tammy, because that leads us to why group transformations are so
Oh,
great. Your story is
okay.
so moving.
So where did I freeze you guys?
You were really, really sick and they had you on over 20 medications.
Okay, yeah. And then you know, when I was going to all these doctors, they just didn't have any answers for me. And by the age of 38, I was on disability and I lost both my jobs. And it was really a very, very, very scary time in my life. I honestly wanted to die. You know, it was really depressing not being able to take care of my kids. I couldn't walk up and down the stairs. I couldn't go to the grocery store. I couldn't do the dishes. I couldn't do the daily activities. Um, so I started searching the internet for hope and inspiration. And I took this holistic healing program and I learned, you know, about using food as medicine. And I started hearing words like glyphosate and gut microbiome and things that I had never heard in 20 years, going to all these specialists, Cleveland Clinic, functional medicine. You know, it's just not something that's commonly talked about. And when I started feeling better and I saw this beautiful angel online, Kimberly Sanders, and I'm like, okay, everything she's talking about is what I'm learning in this holistic healing program. And I can't go back to doing hair. I was a hairdresser for 20 years and I loved making people feel good. A good haircut can make or break your day, right? You guys know that feeling? It's like you all want to just feel good and looking good makes you feel good. And so when I started feeling better just from nutrition, I was just like, you know, let me shave my head bald. I don't even care about hair anymore. Like, I really need to focus on helping people with nutrition because this is where the magic happens. Like, I don't want to go back to doing hair. This needs to be my job, because if I was searching for 20 years and nobody in my reality could help me, like, why isn't this more talked about? Why aren't more people shouting from the rooftops like, hello, we're slowly being poisoned? I mean, that's a strong word to use. I know, you know, saying the word poisoned is like, oh, but it truly is. It's like, you know, if you're not eating food that's nourishing your body, you're eating food that's depleting your body and hurting your body and degenerating your body. So I quickly joined Kimberly's team and I was just like, okay, Kimberly, she just loved me up. She's told me what to do. And I've been, you know, following the Million Mom movement for 3 years now. And I just can't even believe that I'm sitting here on the council right now. It's just like a dream come true to be here to help other people live this lifestyle, because it can be so overwhelming at first. You almost want to like give up, because it's like so much information and you don't know where to start. And you're just like feeling all these emotions. And so I am just so honored to help people, you know, gently guide them into this lifestyle. And it's just, you know, sometimes it's baby steps. It depends on where people are starting from and how sick they are. And, you know, some people that start this nutrition aren't sick at all. They're running marathons and they just add this nutrition in and it's great. And that's wonderful. But everybody's starting from somewhere different. So wherever you're starting from, you know, don't be scared. Don't be nervous. I fed my kids McDonald's growing up. Like, there's no judgment. Like, I really did not know any better. I just thought you eat whatever and then you exercise. And if you don't feel good, you go to the doctor. But wow, when you take all the crap away, like my kids, all three of my kids, they're 18, 17, and 7 now. And they've all had incredible transformations. Like, I was kind of crazy. I was like, I threw away everything in my pantry. I'm like, okay, if this happened to me, it can happen to them. So now I have to take the preventative route. Like, I have to protect them from getting an autoimmune or cancer or something terrible. My daughter was already suffering with anxiety and depression and cystic acne. My teenage son had ADHD. My youngest was on the spectrum, stuttering, saying the first word of every sentence 40 times. You know, occupational therapy, he had tics. I changed their diet. All those things went away, you guys. I mean, everything in the household got lighter and brighter. Everybody's energy and mood, everything just started to get peaceful. And it was just like, wow, why isn't everyone doing this? So that's why I'm so passionate about this. And Yarrow and Kimberly, my whole team, they've been loving me up. And the Million Mom movement, there's been so much education that they share. So I'm very, very passionate about this. And Yarrow's helping me, it's like peeling back layers of an onion, it's like you get done with one layer and then you peel back another layer, and we just keep working and getting down to the root cause of what's making people sick. So I'm so excited that I get to work so close with these ladies, and I get to go to New Mexico next month. We're going to start our retreats there. And it's just so fun having this community of people to cheer you on and love you up and educate you. So Yarrow, if you want to share a little bit about what group transformations are about and what any tips or tricks that you have for people.
Thanks, Tammy. I'm not sure that I have a lot of tips and tricks. I am really inspired by being in the Spurium community. It's definitely a sharing community and a loving community, and that is what makes it so powerful. In that I have been eating the way I guide people to eat and living my life the way I guide people to live theirs the whole time. I do all the practices. I'm meditating, I'm doing the breath work and the cold plunging and the connection of the mind, body, and soul, and always have offered my body organic, clean, grown in my own garden if I can, food, and understood what was going on with our food supply and needing sustainability. So I really have realized through all of you that are my community that what I have been up to is really special, and that it is not common and maybe should be normal. But I know that people come up against so many things in their systems and in their psyches when they start to do the transformations. And that is what led us to offer in a group. It's so much easier in a community, so you can see what other people are experiencing. When you're feeling bad, it's kind of nice to know that other people maybe have felt bad for portions of their detox as well and their transformation. And it feels so good to be seen. I really feel like that is a huge part of Purium. For a lot of the people that I have helped with the transformation, there's this ability to become activated. Your pineal gland decalcifies, and you really, it like turns on a totally different part of you than has been turned on previously. Even for somebody like me who was eating all clean and really being careful about putting poisons in my body and understanding that, like taking a shower, even there's toxicity going on you that you don't want to have in your body. And these foods are so powerful that they made a huge shift for me. And so I understand and can see where people really need support. And Tammy is actually the one that inspired me to start the messenger thread, the group chat, and it's been wonderful. People are so gracious and so happy, and I am so honored and fulfilled to be able to answer questions and hold hands and guide people through what they have going on. It seems like I get more excited than them even when they have breakthroughs in their transformations. And it's just really nice to watch people coming into themselves and being able to transform and grow.
Oh, thank you so much, Yarrow. Yeah, it's really incredible. I was just talking to a gentleman yesterday, and he thought he was so healthy. He was like doing all the things, but he was drinking kachava and he was having some sugar-free Monster energy drinks. And, I was explaining to him about kachava, and I got to share with him the little picture that we have on the Million Mom movement about the parts per billion of how much glyphosate is in kachava. And he was just like, wow, I didn't even realize, like, I thought it was so good. And so he's been on the transformation. He's into his parasite cleanse right now. And he was messaging me last night, and he's like, wow, I'm almost 50 and I feel like I'm 30 again. I didn't even realize, like, his mood is better. And I just got full body chills. It's just like to be able to pass that on and help other people feel good is just, it's such an amazing feeling. It's better than any good haircut could ever give you. What about Sherry or Taz? Do you guys have any tips or tricks? How do you guys do your group transformations?
Well, I really appreciated at the beginning when you said gently. bring people along this transformation. Because I mean, we've been doing this by second nature for years, right? It might seem scary to other people. They hear you have to cut this out, you have to cut this out. What am I going to eat? What am I going to? That's what I hear all the time, right? So I always start a Facebook group, and I always put recipes. I put recipes, and I try to do by addition. Okay, let's not look at what we're subtracting. Let's look at what we're adding. So I never try to tell people, well, stop taking this, stop doing that. I'm like, let's, you love your wine every night. This is what I hear all the time. Everyone's obsessed with their wine. And they're like, yeah, but we don't eat sugar. Okay, what do you think wine is? Wine is sugar, right? So I try to like break it down for them and try to retrain their habits, right? Because just like snacking on potato chips, this is a habit that we need to cut out, or like replace it with carrot sticks or cucumbers, avocado, so it's the same habit by having a glass of wine, just holding it like this. It's a whole psychological process. So I always encourage them, maybe put some apothecary in there. It looks like red wine. It looks similar. You guys know I have a sangria recipe. I mean, there's so many things, especially during the holidays. I get the most resistance. Everyone's like, you know what? We're going to start after the holiday. Why after? There's always going to be another holiday. There's going to be Easter. There's going to be something. All right. Doesn't matter what religion you are, you're going to have another holiday that's going to arise, right? Let's start now. Let's start retraining our habits now. Your favorite recipe, keep it. We just show you how to make it healthy. So I just tell people, just add the green juice in. Just take the biomat. I try to make it reflex of simple habits, right? And I find just speaking to them in this way, their habits and their palate changes naturally. That they tell me, they call me up, and these are my favorite voice messages. Taz, you know what? We haven't drank in a month and I don't miss it. And I feel amazing. And I wake up with mental clarity. And I'm like, beautiful. And I didn't have to do anything. I just started to retrain their habits, and their natural self started to listen to their natural self. Because what happens, we've been in a world that we're not in tune with our body anymore. So when we start training them to be in tune with your body, to hear what's actually craving, maybe you needed all that water. Maybe going to the bathroom 5 times a day was really what you needed to do, right? And when you do it in a Facebook group, I know Yarrow and Tammy were saying you like messenger group. I like Facebook groups because when everyone else is sharing their experience and their hardship. This is difficult. I'm having a hard time with this. Oh, I broke out in eczema. Yeah, okay, toxicity is coming out. It makes everyone feel like they're in this together. And when you tell them, I've been through this too. So it allows them to be gentle with themselves, that we've also been through this route. Other people are going through the same thing, and this is normal. We need to actually clean house. So I love all those tips. How about you, Sherry?
So many great tips you guys have already shared. I love the Facebook group. That's what I do as well. And I throw a lot of recipes in there. I also throw a lot of quotes, like a daily sort of, just little quotes that maybe have spoken to me that day that can maybe help motivate. I talk a lot about motivation versus discipline in there, because especially at this time of the year, people are really motivated, probably the most motivated stepping into a new year. They want to make changes. They want to make positive changes to their health. But we all know too well that resolution sometimes can fizzle out, right? Come the first or second week of January. And so when that motivation dies out, it's the discipline that's going to keep, sorry, my boys are leaving for the night. Bye guys, love you. Sorry. So it's the discipline after that that's going to take over and help you move towards your goal, keep you moving forward long after your motivation is gone. So we talk a lot about motivation in there and discipline. And the best way to stay disciplined is accountability. And you get accountability when you're doing a transformation as a group. So it's not just myself talking with a client back and forth and helping. That helps, sure, but it's not. it's not the same, and nothing can replace a community. Nothing can replace everybody kind of going through those steps at the same time. You're all going to feel, everybody in a group cleanse usually feels different at different points in time, but that's really good that they share it so that in those days where it's harder, or in those moments where they're not so motivated, they have other people there who are feeling the same thing, and it helps, right? We all know what that feels like. It really helps when somebody else can say, hey, you know, I know what you're feeling, that resonates. I get it. Like yesterday was hard for me, but you know what I did yesterday? And you know how I feel today? I feel fantastic. And so it motivates each other, right? Aside from that, I love, Tess, what you said about healthy snacks, right? Just giving a lot of new options. I never, ever tell people what they shouldn't be eating. Never at the beginning. Of course, there's like education through it, because you want people to understand, you know, how we got to where we are with our health, right? How did that happen? Well, you know, in our lifestyles, and of course, nutrition is a huge part of that. So you do want to talk about foods to perhaps, you know, limit and avoid, but you don't want to cut it out at the beginning. It's all about small steps. So it's small steps getting there. So it's always about how much you can add in at first. And of course, with our superfoods, this makes it so easy to do. I mean, I've never, ever have I come across a cleanse that is so nourishing. You know, you feel carried. The first time I did this cleanse, I was going through a hard point in my life. I had just been through a hard point in my life, and I was kind of still at the tail end of it. And I didn't realize just how much all of that had taken a toll on my health. And when I started this cleanse, I was like, oh, maybe it's not the right time. I'm already feeling really depleted. I don't know that a cleanse is going to help with that, because cleanses that I had done in the past would make me feel more depleted at first, right? So at some point you get to a place of some clarity, although I think it's like short-lived, but nonetheless, I wasn't sure that it was the right time. But speaking with Tash, she reassured me that this was very different. And I saw the ingredients and I understood the science, and I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And I'm so happy that I did, because I feel like it really supported me through what I was going through in my life. I felt very nourished on a daily basis. And that was one of the first things that I noticed. And so when you do this as a group, you know, you get to experience that together. And so it's all about the nourishment aspect of it, not about taking things away or telling people what, you know, they can't have. And like Tess said, they get to a point, you know, where all of a sudden you don't feel like you need your coffee anymore. You don't feel like you need that glass of wine. You're not reaching for snacks all the time. That was the first thing I noticed with my kids, is that they don't look for snacks as often as they used to. You know, we tend to normalize that, oh, teenagers need to eat all the time. Well, not if they're being nourished. If they're getting their nutrients, they're not constantly looking for those snacks. So those are some of the, you know, I don't know how many tips that actually was for group transformations, but I think that doing it as a group, the accountability aspect is huge, and it really helps the success rate.
Oh, I love that, Sherry, and I love that, Taz. You know, that's the subtraction by addition. You know, that's what so many people talk about with this nutrition. It's like, don't even worry about giving up anything. Just start adding this in and watch the other stuff just fall away. And that's what I watch happen with all my customers. They're like, oh my gosh, I don't even want those potato chips anymore. And I'm like, even if you do want potato chips, let's find a good potato chip. Not that any potato chip is good, but you know, I don't want people to think that they can't have something. So I'm always like, hey, there's a Bobby app, or there's the Yucca app. Like, if you really want a potato chip, eat the Siete potato chips, you know? Or if you want a cookie, eat this cookie. Like, I don't ever tell people like you can't have something. Like, let's just find a little bit of a healthier option, and then it's a process. Then you add more of this nutrition in, and then eventually they're like, you know, I was loving those chips for a minute, but now I don't even want them anymore. So I love that. And I love the Facebook group idea. We might actually start that up. And then Taz, did we have any more pieces to share? Or would we like to?
How about anyone in the field? Do you guys have any transformations that you've been doing with your team and your clients that has been working? We would love to hear from you. Right, Tammy?
Yeah. Does anybody want to share? Georgie and Kelly, I see you. Angie Fernandez, let's have Angie unmute. Go ahead, Angie. Oh, you got to unmute, hun. There you
Okay,
go.
I got it. So, like I said earlier, Tammy, and thank you for your patience. I'm very new, but I have definitely been able. One of the things that I have done is when they get their kit, like I'm right there. Especially when I did the transformation now, because I had it right there. So I invested in a really cute little wooden 1/3 cup to put their date on there. That's the date that they started. So what it does is it gives them accountability. You do every time you scoop that precious superfood, you've got a date. You've got a date. That's the date. I know my date that I started my journey and my life back. So it has made, now individuals are doing it to their customers because it's a small investment, but you have it forever. And it's personalized. I'm not sure exactly if that's what you're looking for, but that's an idea. But one of my customers, migraine, I mean, she just had constant migraine. And she was on some strong medication, Tammy. But that in itself, she's a month in and no more medication. And the day she started, like 2 days after she started, her migraines went away. So then she's got sharing to others, and it's like that really, people, I don't suffer with migraines. I get headaches a little bit, but people that suffer with migraines, it's truly miserable. So I guess I did a little bit of both sharing.
Oh, I love
I
that.
can't keep up with it all.
I love that, Angie. That is such a good little golden nugget. I mean, personalizing a little wooden scooper and putting the date on it. I've gone over to customers' houses and I've set up their whole superfood pantry for them, and I've gotten cute containers and I lay it out and I write their schedule down. People love that one-on-one. You know, they really need that guidance. So if you're close to your customers and you can go to their house and really just lay it out there, I might steal that idea. And yeah, migraines are debilitating. I used to get Botox injections for migraines, and I was on really, really, really strong medication for migraines. And there's nothing worse than having to lay in a dark room and you're just like holding your head, and it's miserable. To live without migraines that's something to be very proud of and to share with others, because I don't think people really realize how much, nutrition plays a role in that. Thank you
Well,
so much
thank
for,
you, Tammy. Thank you so much because, I just had my treatment and we talked about autoimmune earlier. I'm not going to take any more time, but it's amazing how, how our bodies are so hungry to be healthy. We just have to feed it the right.
yeah.
And you know what? I better get off because I can go on. And I'm just so jazzed about what's going on in mine and also those that I love, seeing their
Oh,
life
I love your
transformed right in
excitement.
front of my eyes.
Yes, yes. It's so much to be
So
excited about. I would love to go live with you sometime. Let's connect.
I'm all in. I'm all
Okay.
in.
Yay.
Okay.
And that's the thing, you guys, when you're having cravings, that's usually a sign that you're lacking some type of nutrient, right? Like if you're craving chocolate, you need some magnesium. So those are signs your body is talking to you. They always say, listen to the whispers so your body doesn't have to start screaming, right? We have to listen to these whispers. Georgie and Kelly, would you like to share?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to share, like we had a few people drop off of their ULTs after the first month because they weren't using one product or another, right off the bat. So they used the one ULT and then they said, "Oh, we're going to have to cancel because we don't use the products enough." So Kelly and I thought, well, if we had a variety of products in our arsenal here, we could maybe trade dollar for dollar and keep them on the ULT. So that's what we did. We bought a bunch of products. I know a lot of people can't afford that. But we bought a bunch of products and we've got a variety here, and we've had customers come over and exchange maybe 2 green shakes for, some joint flex or some hair, skin and nails or different things to keep them on the ULT. So we didn't lose our points. And that was, that's made a big difference. We've been able to keep our customers since we've been doing that. And another thing Kelly and I are feeling so good right now that we bought a rebounder, and we're going to start doing rebounding. And we ordered a set of weights, and we're going to start weightlifting and the movements and everything. And compared to last year at this time is just a 180, totally. Like I was in the hospital this time last year, so, and the doctors were writing me off. So anyways, I just wanted to share that.
Oh, I'm so happy for you ladies. You guys are just always bringing so much joy to all of these calls, and I love seeing you. And that is a great tip. I do that with my customers as well. I had a guy just yesterday, for some reason, the beats were making him gag. I love the beats. I'm like, what is going on? And it was some sort of young childhood trauma that he was experiencing, that his parents had forced him to eat beets. And so there was something in it that was like making him just gag. And I said, you know what, bring it over. He only took a few scoops out, and I was able to trade him a bag of the MVP vanilla, and he's loving up the vanilla now. And it was a win-win for both of us because I love the beets. So that is a great tip. I love that. Yeah, if you can stock up to have your customers, trade out something that they're not loving, that is such a good tip. Thank you so much. We have Beth Lambert. Beth, do you want to share?
Hello. Yes. Thank you so much, ladies, for this call. Valuable, valuable information. I love hearing everybody's tips and ideas. And so I wanted to just share a couple things our group is doing. We have a WhatsApp group. That's where we're doing our support for our customers. And we're just wrapping up the fall health reset. Next Friday is the end of their 90 days. And we've been doing a bi-monthly newsletter that we send out so they can print out the recipes that are in that. We give them what produce is in season, fitness tips, lifestyle swap ideas. And then we do bi-monthly support and educational Zooms. So they all drop on Sundays. So every other Sunday is a newsletter, every other Sunday is a Zoom. And they're loving that. But what I'd love to ask from all of you is ideas of how to get people to engage in the group versus reaching out just to their health coach, but like getting support from the whole group, so that everyone sees what they're dealing with. Any tips there?
That's a tricky one, because sometimes people like that one-on-one, they're really scared to share the things that they're struggling with personally in a group. Not everybody is going to be down for the group transformation. I've had that experience myself. So I don't know, Taz, have you had any experience with that? Do you have any tips or tricks for Beth?
So to encourage engagement?
Yeah.
Okay, so a great tip for that would be to do a giveaway. Okay, because we have we have these specials, like 3 and you get 1 free and all of these things. So whenever we have these specials, I stock up. Okay, I have like my pantry full of superfoods. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna do a giveaway of something. Or, Million Mom Movement. We have so many recipe books or something. I use something as some kind of giveaway, or even gift cards, like if there's something that they like, if it's sustainable, some type of prize, right? So now they're engaged. And then you can say, if you invite 3 people to this, you have more of a raffle prize or something, because this encourages people and encourages the community, and then they invite more people in. So you can do, like right now, Christmas is coming up, right? Everyone's buying balls wine. This is the time of year where I stock up on my apothecary. And then I tell people, I'm like, for teachers, for my kids' school, I don't give wine. I give apothecary because I care about you and I want you to feel amazing. So maybe encourage something like that. Why don't we, tell 5 moms and we all give the gift of apothecary together. And then you can do a video and send to the teachers so they know what to do with this, right?
Yeah, the gift of sleep.
The gift of sleep, of good
'Cause
sleep, right?
apothecary helps you, sleep naturally. So
Yeah.
giving the teachers, a way to sleep better because they're always grading your work and doing all this stuff for you. So you might as well give them the gift of sleep.
And then they can share it with their kids and they can talk about it. And they don't even know the benefits of Botox in the bottle. They don't even know these benefits. You just tell them this is the gift of sleep. They're like, they're so sleep deprived, right? So I mean, I give away some type of contest, some giveaway things, even though I as I mentioned, in our Million Mom movement, we have so many things we made. You can use that as incentive. Well, we're going to give this away. We have all the recipes. That's what I would suggest. What do you think, Sharon?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I would also, if you're doing a group, like let's say a Facebook group, or even if it's like a WhatsApp group, doesn't really matter, anywhere. I would encourage like a, welcome and like tell us a little bit about yourself kind of, post. And you'll see that a lot of people will go ahead and write, but there's always going to be some that won't, and that's okay. I tend to see that like the more I show up in the group and I'll do some lives, right? And I'll just talk about myself, my story, and how I got here and why this is so important to me and why I do what I do. I think the more that we can share our stories, they could be very inspiring. Like Tammy, listening to your story at the beginning of the call, right? That it inspires people so much, and now they want to share, they want to say, well, yeah, me too, I felt that way too, and I'm dealing with this, and I'm hoping to get to where you are. And so just I think just a lot of showing up and sharing in hopes that it'll inspire. It's also important to remember that even if people are not necessarily sharing in the group, it doesn't mean that you're not reaching them. It doesn't mean that they're not fully engaged. It doesn't mean that it's not helping them anyways, right? There's just always going to be a few people. I mean, I used to be one of those people who would shy away from speaking in public, who would shy away from like sharing too much about myself. I was shy, I was timid. So, but I was, there's many times where even though I wouldn't volunteer perhaps something about myself, I was still very much listening and getting a whole lot of benefit out of it. So that's another thing you can keep in mind. And also there's a lot of like polls, you can post polls in the group, like who's having trouble with XYZ, or I don't know, or questions, just get them clicking. And so they're still participating, even if it's in a smaller way.
I love that, Sherry and Taz. I mean, so to touch on both of the things that you said, Sherry, we have a group messenger thread and not everybody is participating. And I just had a lady come over to my house the other day. She's only incorporated like 2 little products, and she was already just getting so overwhelmed with, changing all the things that she was doing with the way she was eating. And she came over to my house and we had this one-on-one, and she was telling me, she's like, I might not be participating, but I am listening and I'm watching and I'm reading and I'm following along. I'm engaging, but I'm not, responding. So people are watching. I spied on the Million Mom movement for so long. I was off camera. I was just laying there listening to everything, and I could have never imagined myself up here talking like this. So you never know where somebody's at, on their healing journey, and where they're at with what's going on in their body. So just don't give up on them, just because they're not participating. It just might not be the time, so you just got to keep loving them up. And the apothecary, you guys, what Taz was saying, like giving it as a gift, I have given the apothecary as a tip. Like my massage therapist, I'm like, here's your tip today. This is the apothecary. And now he's a customer. It started with apothecary, and then he ordered 2 more things, and now he's ordering 8 things. And now finally he's ready to do a 10-day immersion. So, it's okay if people don't start with the whole ultimate lifestyle transformation. It's okay if they just start with one product. Maybe it's the apothecary, maybe it's the biomedic. You never know where somebody's at. So just meeting somebody where they're at and loving them up, and there's no judgment ever with where somebody's at and where they're coming from. We've all been eating so much stuff for so long. So it's a process like anything. It's just 1% better every day, do a little bit better every day. And then by the end of the year, you're like Georgie and Kelly, like, oh my gosh, this time last year I was in the hospital and look at me now. You know, not everybody's going to start doing the ultimate lifestyle transformation and run a marathon. It might take you 2 or 3 years until you get to the point where you're like, okay, I feel good enough to start working out now. You know, so don't compare yourselves to other people. Just do the best that you can do. Angie, did you have another question or share? Oh, is your hand still up?
Actually, no. Yeah, that's still up. But no, really, Tammy, you really helped me share when you shared your experience, because you were really transparent about it. But that helps others. So when I hear other people's story, I said, because I also do a little group WhatsApp with some of the customers that I have, and I ask in advance, can you share a little bit about your experience? Because I know how it's affected me, and I've been very private about my journey. I mean, overall, people that are really close to me don't even know I was bedridden. They didn't know I couldn't get up. They didn't know that I was pretty much lifeless months ago. I'm talking about just the beginning of the year. And but they knew that something was wrong, and now they know why and what to do. So, if we keep everything here, it's never going to manifest to someone else's ears and make them move with action. Anyway, I didn't mean to get emotional.
Thank you so much, Angie. There's a little saying that we like to say, it's when you heal out loud, others don't have to suffer in silence. And it was hard for me to share too, because sometimes, sharing your story, it's like, gosh, I created that disease in my body. I was the one eating those things. And then you feel like so guilty and you feel like ashamed. And there's all these feelings and emotions that go with it. So it's just like, to release all that and let it out. It's very powerful, and it can be very, difficult for people to do. Okay, so we have Kimberly's going to share, and then we're going to do our call to action. Kimberly.
Hi, everyone. I just had to take full leverage of being able to come on and just celebrate this moment with so many of the people who I've been loving for so long. And I want to speak out loud with all of us here. It's the same thing. And I am a person that seems to not be able to have my clients want to be a part of a group. They're just like, no. So there's something that I need to change in the invitation of what it's all about. And so I'm saying it out loud. It's just like the smart order. When someone says, oh, I don't want a smart order, it's like, well, that's not even an option. So here's what we have to offer, so your ultimate lifestyle transformation, we come into community, and we have Yarrow's Apothecary Facebook page. I'm hoping that we can start activating. That's my wonder, if we can do that, like something where it's already even set. The place is the foundation is laid. So, and to really speak to that more. So I am speaking this out loud so that I can bring new people into more of that, and just really speak to that as we are talking about the whole entire experience, that is the gift, where they're going to find recipes, where they're going to find really detailed information to be able to be brought into this new system of wellness and health and all of it. So I'm excited to be on this call and know that that's the next step that we will do as a team, and we'll start leading our clients into that, and no longer this like sideline engagement of a ULT and the 90-day experience. So we'll start getting systems and even more amazing things together so that everybody can have it. And I just standing ovation to you, Tammy. This has been the greatest call ever. And thank you, Taz and Sherry. Thanks. And Yarrow, it's amazing. This is the best call ever. Love you all. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Miss Kimberly. Yes, we are building. If you build it, they will come, right? We are doing it. All right, so we want, Taj, you want Yarrow to share one more thing and then we'll do call to action. What did you want?
Oh, I thought Yarrow had her hand up. If you do not, then we can just go into the call to action.
It was just for a moment. Everything everybody's saying is totally wonderful. And I notice a lack of engagement on the calls at times. And then I feel bad. And I send out a message to people and say, like, hey, people maybe aren't showing up. Maybe I have to cancel this call or just go to twice a week or something like that along those lines. And then oftentimes people send me messages directly, still not in the group, to say they're getting so much out of it and please don't stop doing it. And it's really a support. So even if people don't seem like they're showing up for your thing, Beth, I think they are. And the more you continue to invite people there and just have the door open, what we finally decided to do is just have an ongoing, like on rotation. So if anybody is starting the protocol, they don't have to be starting on a certain day to join the group. And then you have to do a new group every time you start a new protocol. And that doesn't work out. It's too many things to do and it's chaotic. So we just have a rolling group and people can come and go as they please. And when they start, then it's always exciting because new people come in and they're starting and they're sharing the beginnings of their thing. And I don't know if you all remember, and maybe everyone wasn't this way, but I was absolutely terrified to be on camera, to be sharing on any level. And so I think a lot of people are at that place, and partly just because of the profession we've chosen and what we're all doing, that's part of the getting activated piece, is that you get to be able to talk in front of people and have it be okay. But I think they're still getting benefit from it.
Oh, absolutely, Yarrow, 100%. And, not everybody is as open to talking about all the things that they're going through. There's very personal things when you start your transformation. It's like, I don't want to come on here and talk about my bowel movements with people I don't know. And, it's like, what? I'm like, send me pictures. Let me investigate it. I mean, I want to know. I want to help you. Let's do this. It takes a while for people to get there. And yes, Jessica, we love talking about, all of our bodily functions. That's, your hair, your skin, your nails, your bowel movements. Those are the window to your health. So if we're not really paying attention to those things, we're missing what's going on with the human body. So thank you, Yarrow. We just have to keep going and people will show up. All right. Do you want to do the call to action, Sherry? Thank you, everyone, for all your incredible shares.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so for today's call to action, we're going to bring you back to the start of this call when we did our in the news piece and we talked about glyphosate. So why are we talking about glyphosate when we're talking about transformations? Well, simple, of course, what like most of you on this call know. Glyphosate has a really big effect on our overall health, right? It is one of the biggest threats to our health today. And our transformation, thankfully, really addresses that. Addresses it like no other cleanse I have ever come across, has ever come close to. And before I even found Purium, I had never even heard of, I had heard the word glyphosate go by, but I never really understood just how important it was, how much it demanded my attention, what it does to the gut microbiome, what it's doing to the gut microbiome of our soil, and how all of that affects our health on a daily basis. And so you can't really, when you think about a cleanse, it's about getting to the root, right, of everything. It's about that having like a metabolic reset happen within the body. And we cannot do that without addressing this toxic herbicide that is taking hold literally of our gut microbiome. And so for our call to action today, we're coming back to glyphosate and we are going to share the poison in our daily bread. And we've shared this many times before. It's a report that the Detox Project came out with, right, on the amount of glyphosate found in common popular food items. And so we're bringing it back today and we're asking everyone to share this, tag, share, post, share with at least 10 people. This is such important information, guys, because this brings our transformation, the need for transformation, to a whole other level. Even as far as I was within my own studies to become a holistic nutrition and health coach, I had never heard about the importance of glyphosate. I had never heard how much glyphosate, for instance, was in Cheerios. That to this day still blows my mind, because I gave Cheerios to both of my boys and I thought that I was making a great choice. I was proud of myself. I'm like, I'm not giving them sugary junk. I'm giving them, a cereal. It's whole grains. It doesn't have sugar. It's heart healthy, right? Little did I know. I even went as far as buying the Cheerio books. There's these board books that you can buy for toddlers, and you open the pages and they have all of these little circles incorporated into all of the pictures. And as your toddler eats their Cheerios, they're also putting the Cheerios into the spaces in the book. And I was like, oh, look at me, right? They're even working their fine motor skills. Like, great mom choice. Little did I know. Okay. And this is why it's just so vital that we share this information. I cannot stress that enough. So today we're asking you to share. We will share the link for the Poison Our Daily Bread in the comment section so that you have the link and you can go ahead and make posts about it. And of course, in your post, don't forget to include the importance of a transformation. And perhaps that's a great way to open up a discussion and, see who would be willing and ready to do a group cleanse, a group transformation with you. Back to you, Tammy.
Thank you so much, Sherry. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I have to say, I was so nervous to lead this call today. I was messaging the Million Mom Movement. I'm like, you guys, I can't do this. I've never done this. I've got sweat dripping down my back. So thank you for, all the little hiccups and letting me just be myself. And yeah, I just love you all so much, and just be so kind and gentle on yourself, and just do the best you can do with what you've got in the situation that you're in. And eventually you're going to just feel so much better every day, one step at a time. Thank you, everybody.
So let's give Tammy some love in the comments. What a great job you did, Tammy. So proud of you. Watching you and Sherry come out of your shell, I feel like a proud mama. I've watched you guys from like the beginning. It's so beautiful. So next week, we come here every week. Guys, we're here every Friday, okay? And next week, we're going to talk about whole body wellness, head to toe, because we're all about the complete body, right? And we're doing Wealth Wednesday with Mary Beth Fleming, December 6th at 12:30 Pacific. And I know you're wondering, well, where to find us? How can we invite you? So let me show you where to go. So we have a Facebook group, okay? And this is the invite, okay? So share this with everyone. We have the Wealthy Wednesdays, Unleash Effective Wealth Building Strategies. So just share this with people, okay? Just share it with them and invite them to come on our calls. And you see, if you click on see more, there's a whole description of what we're about. So this takes, the guesswork out. You don't have to even explain it. Just invite them to come and listen in our calls. And I know everyone was saying what an amazing call this is, right? And where to find us. So let's go to the picture. Let's go to the picture.
Okay. They can't see this.
Can't see it? Go there.
Better reshare.
So I have my assistant. Who's my dot preview?
No, it's better.
Okay, so you can find us on Facebook, as I mentioned. You can follow us on Instagram at Million Mom Movement, there with our fabulous Naiva. She is in charge of social media. She will repost you. Just tag us, the Million Mom Movement.
There.
And of course, we are on YouTube. Okay, so you can find all of the replays. So many times I receive so many messages. Where do I find this call? Where do I find this call? It's all on YouTube. And what's so easy about that? You can use it as a tool. Send it to someone. We've spoken about PCOS, menopause, children's, families, so many topics. I urge you to go take a look and see what topic resonates to you and share it with someone in your community. Was there anything else we were supposed to share?
Yes, there's
one more thing.
Let me pull that one up.
I'm so blessed to have such an amazing daughter. I mean, I could not do the social media without her. Perfect. And we have a lot of resources. Okay. We spent hours, weeks building these for the community. Okay. We have a sad to rad flip book. And if you scan these QR codes, everything pops up to you. This is a platform that shows you how to go from the standard American diet to the real American diet. We have drinks and smoothies recipes. So in your transformational Facebook groups, share these, okay? We have dressing, appetizers, soups, salads, entrees, desserts. We have so many resources available to you. So start sharing. We built all of this for the entire community. So let's not have them go to waste. And again, reach back to the kind, wonderful person who invited you to this call, because I know they really care to bring you into our community and to encourage you to change one step at a time, because we're all in this transformation together. Doesn't matter where we are in life. Well, thank you, everyone. And let's unmute and give Yarrow some love. What an amazing call. Very proud of you, Yarrow.